Merry meet and bright blessings, everybody. Lady Leeanna here with another edition of Wicca for today. And today I wanted to answer a few of my subscribers' letters to me, asking me various things to do with how do you balance out when people tend to try to step on your toes in your daily life? What is the best way in doing that? When is enough enough? When can a good witch fight back and use magic to stop someone, from doing things on them, or spiritually attacking them? And what is the line or boundary there? And even one of the subscribers even mentioned that this may very well be in protection of their family, that they would want to do something. And asked, okay, well, how do you balance out in your daily life when it's minor things that just keep adding up and, you're getting a little bit imbalanced? So we're going to talk about all of this stuff. I hope I'm not being repetitious here. I just kind of threw the camera together and decided to do a video and answer some of these subscribers' notes, and wanted to cover it because some of them have been long in the waiting, and I wouldn't blame them a bit if they were getting a little impatient with me. Let's hope not. Please, no pins and voodoo dolls on the Leeanna here, okay? Alright, let's just not go there. I don't need that, trust me. I've got enough problems in my daily life, but, and we're all good, okay? Anyway, in all reality, people look at me, and my videos, and I guess I give a type of atmosphere that things stay pretty calm around me all the time, or that I'm well balanced, and I guess to some degree I am, but I fly off the handle too, just like anybody else. I have problems in my daily life. I have creditors, collectors, problem clients, people that would try to knock my day off balance, and if I let them do so, then they will, and it does happen periodically, and there are ways of handling this. Now, I did do a video called Finding and Being the Good Guru in You, so you might want to check that one out too, and this might be a little repetitious into that, but a lot of people haven't found that video yet, or it doesn't answer their questions exactly and I can understand that. So, here we are, and we can do this one up, and maybe I can shine a little bit better light on it for you. But in all reality, I lose focus, I lose balance, I get stepped on by other people. I do get pushed to a limit of just wanting to burst or explode, but I try not to do that. I go out, I sit down on the earth sometime, and I just kind of give all my negativity to the earth. Sometimes I like to garden, and whenever I'm digging in the soil, that's what I'm doing, and I'm letting, the earth feed on that and pull it away from me, and that's the best way, Or involving yourself in another hobby. You can give your dark or negative energy that someone's bestowed on you by simply acting the way they do in your presence or to you or your family. You can implement that energy into something else that you're doing and make it more constructive. Like in my gardening, I just give it away. Okay? But I can take that in a wood burning or drawing, and I can kind of feed it down my pen or down my wood burner or whatever it is that I'm working with, and into whatever project that I'm putting together. And that's by far the most positive means of putting it into a project or reflecting that out into your work. And, all that emotion, it comes from somewhere. It has to go somewhere. And obviously the best means is not to throw it out there in the universe on someone else, because even if it is partly on their creation, they didn't create all that is in you at that time, because there are many other things that accumulated through your weeks or months that are kind of sitting and looming there inside your body that did not belong to those people originally. Even if old Barbara or Sarah from down the street came up bitching at you about your lawn and how it doesn't coincide with the rest of the house's lawns, and it doesn't look uniform. Yes, she gave you that bit of bad energy right then. But she didn't feed to you all that had transpired through the weeks before that. And if you did start exploding all over the place, feeding that energy over to Barbara or Sarah solely, then she would be getting the energy of, 10, 20 people, maybe more. And that's not all her, so inevitably it wouldn't be right, no matter how much she's really pissed you off. And trust me, people, there are those out there that can really upset you. They can really tick you off, So, you really have to consider this. You have to consider, what is it that you are lashing back at? Is it in protection of family, of yourself, of your home? Or is it just simply because you're angry? Never acting out in anger is the best idea. I mean, no one should ever actually do anything out of anger, because the results are always going to be negative there. So, quite simply, you always have to think about what you're doing. You have to weigh in the consequences. You got to think about whoever it is that you're affecting and how much of a part of that do they deserve and how much of it do they not. Is the person attacking you spiritually, or are they attacking you in the physical world, just setting out against you? And is it ever right to cast on anyone darkly? The answer is no. Not if you intend to go on feeling good about yourself afterwards. If your life is in danger, if there are spiritual attacks that have been going on for a while, first and foremost, always you should try a protection spell. And there are plenty of them out there. I actually have a video that revolves around one called Old and Wise Spell of Protection, I believe it is. But you'll have to search that out. I'm going to redo it because it was done, and it looks like it was done in the dark because the lighting wasn't so good in there. And I gave you all the ingredients, but I wrote all the assembly of it in the description, which I guess really works. I mean, if you think about it, and it's usable right now, and without having to ask questions, because I go into thorough description and thorough understanding of what to do, anytime I do anything or put it out before people. I always make sure of that, but before lashing out at anybody in a very dark way, doing dark magic of your own, you should always try protective magic first of yourself, of the people close to you. That's always the first answer. How to ground out so that you're not letting everything get to you that is flying by you in your daily life? Well, give it to the earth by gardening. Go and sit down on the ground. Lay down on the ground. Lie there looking up at the sky, watching the clouds go by, and start making out what the clouds look like as far as symbols go. Watch the birds fly overhead, or an airplane these days, but kind of give the earth that energy and think about frivolous things while you're laying there. Okay, that's one way. Going into your altar room, lighting a candle, if you don't have one, a coffee table, lighting a candle, lighting an incense, and begin meditating, going into yourself and shirking off the day. Thinking about things that are extremely light or positive. Maybe astral projecting, which, by the way, we need to go into another video of eventually. Astral projecting yourself, traveling into different places, whether it's places in the world or places you create inside of yourself. But astral projecting, that's another form of meditation, actually. And it goes a lot deeper. You know, you can go into places where you let the elements cleanse you that way. You know, but things of that nature. Music. Music, it soothes the savage beast. It feeds the soul. It calms the nerves. Nothing beats calming down possibilities like music does. I might suggest some Mozart. It's very happy-go-lucky music most of the time. You know, there's a lot of other cleansing music programs all over YouTube. I mean, so you can find hour and a half, 5, 6 hour music. Look for keywords such as meditation, chakra, cleansing, all of that when searching for it. You'll find it all over YouTube. Cleansing, purifying music. As a matter of fact, I'm fixing to do a video revolving around meditation very soon, where I will actually guide you in meditation, and you can play this YouTube video while you yourself are laying there following this meditation. And also to do one on self-hypnosis. So you can expect those in the near future, and those will be very good ones. And actually, you won't have to use self-hypnosis, considering I'll be basically there doing it for you with my voice. So these are very big projects that I'm working on for you guys, and I'm sure that you'll really like when I get them done. Speaking of which, you can find meditational guidances in CDs and so forth that you can ride around with in your car. These are all good maneuvers as far as balancing yourself out. And about all I really could suggest to you. Now, also remember the foods that you eat, the colors in your surrounding, the color of candles you burn, the shows that you watch, the music, the games you play. All of this adds to your mode, your modus operandi, your mood, your surrounding. If you're submerging yourself in stuff that are very intense, you, my friend, are going to be very intense. As a matter of fact, when I expect one of my card client readings to come in, then I will step back away from the TV for a while. I will step back away from games. I'll make everybody stop playing the games if they're in the room with me or whatever. You know, I do love my PlayStation. Also my computer games, but you know, I'll step away from all of that myself. I'll make everybody get out of my face with it so that I can find a good mellow tone, think clearly, reach inside of myself and center, balance out before I go into that reading. Because everybody has an imbalanced place inside of them. Everybody has their buttons. I mean, and they're easily to find. In this day and age, it's so easy for people to find those buttons. You know, especially when you're dealing with utilities and bill collectors and people that just get on your nerves. But, you know, step back, think, and balance out first and foremost. Okay, now, if someone is spiritually attacking you, first and foremost, you need to get a protection spell on you, and you need a talisman or amulet that you wear in your daily life. If your family's being attacked likewise, do the same for each one of them. And never do a protection spell for everybody in your household in one little talisman or jar or whatever, because that doesn't work. You have different enemies from them and they from you. Anybody that is to be protected within your household, or that you're to protect from outside of your household or whatever, they need a talisman, amulet, charm, or jar, or whatever it is that you're doing of their own. And then you need to do a protection for your house, which would consist of crystals and so forth. And also, you know, if you look in my purifying video, home cleansing and purifying, you'll find where I've given you a little walkthrough on putting cleansed crystals around your house for protection of it. And anytime you cleanse your house, you may as well go the extra step of doing the protection on it likewise. Anyway, there are many different home protection spell works that protect the house itself and for the most part the people inside, but you should also do individual protections of the people inside the house and never combined. Okay, also the ingredients and elements inside the protections get mixed up and the spell works can get very confused. You know, and the things that are inside of a spell work are telling the spell work what it's supposed to be doing, who it's supposed to be protecting, and sometimes who it's protecting from. You know, but generally these spell works are done in protection from anybody that would cast dark, negative, or evil magic on one. Now, when is it alright for you to cast a dark spell on anyone? Well, the spell work, you cannot say that a spell work is either light or dark. It's the motive behind it that dictates that. If you're setting out to create chaos for somebody because you want their husband, that's going to be a pretty dark spell. If you're trying to steal a spouse. Okay, if you're trying to see somebody die because you don't like them, that's obviously a dark one. You know, if you're trying to dictate how somebody gets hurt or whatever, or that somebody does it all, that's a dark spell work. I don't suggest you do any of these because karma, my friends, is a bitch. Okay? And, you know, you don't want that. You do not want to swallow that barrel of monkeys at all. It's not good. It's not wanted, and from there on out, and it don't mean that the universe will necessarily mark you, although it's pretty favorable that it will. But you yourself will always have that looming over you. No matter what you do, you'll have to wonder, you know, what's going on in your life, and every bad thing, you would have to wonder if it's attributable to that, and you just don't want that, okay? So, you know, don't go there. As far as protecting yourself, now, if let's see, the situations are always different. Let's say that there's a neighbor that, you know, you're having a boundary war or whatever, and so they start casting on you for dark or negative. Well, let's just throw out a spell work to have the old lady die, okay? Because that goes into that bad mark. Why don't, instead of doing things to make things worse for that person, how about for things to go better for you so that you can put up that privacy fence, or so that you can move and get a better house that you want anyway, or if you own your own house, you know, to do that privacy fence or that nice big hedge or whatever. There's ways of diverting this. And if it comes down to total protection because somebody's in danger, doing a spell work for that person to move, you know, that way you're not trying to hurt them, but maybe they need to go to California when you're in Oklahoma or something. You know, maybe they need to be shipped out. Not in a bad way, but maybe something goes good for them to where they can make that move and feel good about it themselves. Get rid of them, but get rid of them in a positive way if you feel that they're out to hurt you. Now, I myself do have a gray side, and if somebody does try to hurt my family, then I will make them sick. I will let them know that I'm going to do it. I am going to let them know that I'm unhappy with them and that they're going to feel my wrath and they're not going to like it. You know, if they are hurting my family in a very bad way, I am going to lash back. You know, I think that anybody would. I don't think anybody can sit here and wittingly say, you know, if someone is doing magic and it causes my 2-year-old baby to come down sick as a dog and with no explanation to it, I'm going to check into that a bit. And if I find that person is actually casting on me, and I would know, I would scry into it, or I would find a way to find out, and I would know. Maybe my spirits would tell me. But then I'm going to go and I'm going to address the person face to face. And then I'm going to let them know that they have stepped over a line and that they better ready themselves. And I think that in the oldest day, whenever they conducted a duel, you know, with pistols, let's say in France, someone harmed someone, someone wronged someone, they would generally slap them in the face with a glove, and they would call them out, give them a little time to ready themselves, and then they would duel. You know, whether it was swords, pistols, or whatever, they would duel. And I think that that's fair play. I think somebody's wronged me. I'm going to let them know it. For one thing, it makes my magic stronger, that they know that I've done something. And a lot of times, sister girl, brother man, whatever, if you tell somebody they've crossed a boundary and that now they will pay consequences, you usually don't have to do nothing. You know why? Because from there on out, every time they bump their head on a cabinet door they left open whenever they duck down and come back up and hurt themselves, it's going to be your fault. You know, everything is going to be attributable to it being you casting on them and so forth. You know, like I said, they've already casted magic on you, or you suspect that they have. You should already have a protection spell in place before you do anything. Talking to them, whatever. You know, get you a protection done, wear you a talisman, make sure everybody in your household's protected. Do a protection for your house as a fortress on the outside to the end. Okay? And so, there you have it. If someone is really crossing a boundary that you cannot ignore, go and let them know that they've wronged you, you've taken note of them, and that if one more thing comes up with their name on it, they're in trouble. Then you've warned them successfully. And then it's on them, whatever, you know, you have to do to protect your family. Killing them is never an option. Making them sick for a short while, but making sure it's something that wouldn't internally damage them permanently, you don't want to do that. But making sure that you do things safely. And ultimately, balanced-mindedly. I mean, because this is somehow going to reflect on you in the universe one way or the other. If they've harmed you, usually it doesn't. Your protectors, your guiders, they shield you from things coming back on you that would be not right. And usually karma doesn't do that. Karma is usually brought about by the mixture of the good and negative in the universe, mixed with your own conscientiousness, whether you feel that you've done right or you've done wrong. Your own self-judgment is a lot of it. And a mixture of a few other things. But for the most part, if you know that you're not doing wrong, then karma really won't have its way with you. Now, if you sit there and you say, okay, this is wrong, I can justify it by this, this, or that, somewhere deep inside of you, you're questioning that already, and so you shouldn't go against what you feel is right. Okay? Anyway, I hope that this video has been a help to you, and that you'll watch for more videos to come. Like I said, guided meditation is to come in the future. Guided hypnosis by me for you is to come in the future. And we'll get around to astral projection at some point in time in the near future as well. We have a lot of good things on the program. I'm a little slow in getting them out lately. I've got so many irons on the fire, but I'm doing my very best. And just for you guys. So, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And leave your questions in the discussions below. I really like that. Any suggestions for other videos in the future? I'll be happy to hear them. I can't get around to them right away. I'm finding it more and more hard for me to answer everybody, although I do try. So just bear with me and be light and be positive in your daily life. Remember that karma is out there. It does come back on you. You do have to think about the consequences, the causes and effects. Even when you are doing a spell work that is not dark, it can have consequences, and we'll talk about that in another show. Sorry, diarrhea of the mouth today. Okay, anyway, blessings and Merry Park on your journey. Bye-bye.